Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. I'm back for another Messages from Spirit. I'm really excited to see what they want to bring through today. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes in case anyone else wants to join us live. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach and I'm a channel, and I've been going live a couple times a week, every Monday and every Wednesday. Mondays are more of a guided, meditative, and somatic experience, just kind of designed and meant to help you ground more deeply into your body, get out of your head, and learn how to hold a nice, comfortable, and relaxing space to feel what's there in the present moment so that you can better understand the nuances of your own energy and learn how to feel them and shift them and release whatever's needed, and also tap into your intuition in the process, which can become much easier when you're in a relaxed, open hearted, grounded state. And on Wednesdays, it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more relaxed. I come on, I channel a message from spirit, and I basically give anyone that's here live an opportunity to ask any questions that they might have. If there's anything that's on your mind, if there's anything that you're moving through personally in your life that you're wanting guidance and support around, this is your opportunity to receive messages from spirit, from your higher self, from your deepest core essence of who you are, and receive coaching from myself as well if that's something that's desired. So, the way this works is I close my eyes and I tune into spirit and I allow them to channel a message through me. And for me specifically as a channel, it tends to materialize first as an image, which helps me sort of ground into, okay, where are they going with us today? It helps me orient to where they're headed. And this image takes on sort of a metaphor for what they want to explain and bring forward. And the message tends to unfold and ravel from there. And I set the intention that this is finding you, this video and this message are finding you if it's meant to. If there's something that you've been looking to call in, if there's a part of you that's been wanting wisdom or guidance around something, you've been looking for a sign or you've been looking for an answer, you've been searching for meaning in something or clarity around something, and you're feeling called to watch this either live or the replay, then there's something here for you. And I encourage you to trust that and to stick around and see what can be gleaned inside of what they want to share with you today. So that's enough preamble. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to see what it is that they want to share. So just give me a second. Okay, what are you wanting? They're showing me something. What are you wanting to say about this? They're showing me an image that sort of leads me to believe it is the highest self. It is the energy of complete unconditional love and also self-trust. Is there something that you want to say specifically about this? Are you wanting to take them on an experience right now? They're saying that this is going to be a message that is deeply wrapped into under, understanding the what the energy within you is here to convey, and how to access that energy and how to trust that. Are you wanting to take them there? Okay. If this is something that you would like while you watch this, there's an opportunity for you to follow along. I think they're wanting to explain whatever is desiring to come through as you're feeling it for yourself. Sometimes having the experience of it as they're explaining it helps to ground whatever it is in that's trying to come through. And they want to encourage you to experience that and offer that experience to you. So if you're feeling inclined, join me inside of this. I don't know what they want to share, but they want you to experience it for yourself. So I want you to close your eyes. Just take a deep breath and try to calm your mind. And they really want you to focus on your heart. They want to teach you how to open your heart. Opening your heart is a really important component of not only accessing your intuition, but feeling the availability of the fullest extent of who you are, all of the unconditional love, all of the self trust, all of the confidence, all of the inner knowing, all of the compassion, all of the drive and motivation. It is all accessed inside of your ability to open up your heart to you. It's very easy to extend that love to those around us, but for whatever reason, we close ourselves off when it comes to feeling it specifically for us. And so they want you right now to feel this so that you can understand what's available when you access it for you. So just take a moment and close your eyes and just like visualize your heart and your heart center in your mind and visualize what it would feel like to come face to face with the highest part of you, an aspect of who you are that is so unconditionally loving of who you are. It's your highest self. It is the highest part of you that sees the greatness in you, that does not give into the limited thoughts and beliefs of you that you hold true. They don't buy into that at all. They see you for the powerful being that you are, and they want you to allow that feeling to be present for you as you're seeing it inside of them. And you're just feeling this being just standing in front of you and just radiating power and so much love. It is the type of love that is beyond the human experience, meaning you're feeling so much love from this being, this part of you, that you understand that it doesn't matter who you are, what you've done in your life, what you could possibly do at any point moving forward, successes, failures, you can do the most horrendous, shameful things. And this being in front of you will only ever feel love for you. It is that unconditional, all empowering feeling of love that is so far and beyond anything that you could possibly ever disappoint them with or feel could be taken back or limited in any way. And they just want you to feel that right now. That there is so much love here. That there is so much endearment here. That they are seeing this version of you that you don't even see yet. And they're just mirroring that back to you because this being that you're seeing in front of you is you. It is a part of you that you don't often allow to be present because maybe you don't believe that this amount of love is possible to feel for you, that it's not available yet, that you couldn't possibly do enough to allow yourself to feel it. And right now they are demonstrating to you that it's here. It is available. It is available when you perceive that it's coming from something outside of you. But when you remember that this is you feeling love for you, there's something something about that not being as easily accessed or accessible. And all they want to bring forward inside of this experience today is the reminder that this is what you're asking for. In every single question that you ask today, this is what you're seeking. It is this semblance of connection. It is this unquantifiable feeling of everything is going to be okay. I'm so safe. I'm so loved. It doesn't fucking matter what I do and who I become and what choice I make if this feeling is always there. And to have this reminder that it is, you just have to be willing to allow yourself to feel it. And the more you grant yourself the availability of it and the permission to feel it openly, the more you're going to become accustomed to wanting that and to just giving it to yourself freely. And you're going to find that this is the feeling that's going to be guiding you forward. And you're not going to accept anything less of others or of yourself. And you're going to remember um, that ultimately this is all that you're ever seeking. This is all that you're ever wanting. This is all that's ever needed. And everything else is just sort of the cherry on top of this frequency that lives through you, that is ultimately the guiding force inside of you. And if you can hold that as your guiding light today and every day moving forward, what could you possibly need beyond that? And if there's something that you want this being, this essence in front of you to know, now's your opportunity to tell it. Not needing a response back, not needing answers or clarification, but recognizing that's all that's ever needed was the awareness that that presence is there. And just witnessing as they beam back at you. Just like enjoying the experience of you, because the experience of you, that is all that's needed of them. They don't need you to do anything. They don't need you to say anything. They don't need you to remind them that they are wanted, that they're needed, that you love, that they're here. They already know all that. They're just so grateful that you're acknowledging that this connection is here and available for you. And they're inviting you to join them inside of this experience throughout this live today. And anytime you want to call them up and return to this beautiful connection that they're bringing forward through you. And this energy is just reminding you what? This energy is just reminding you, period. And just feel it like very slowly dissipate. And it's not going anywhere. It's lingering around you. It's enveloping you. It's going to be here for as long as you want it to be. And all you have to do at any point throughout this live or at any point throughout the rest of your day is remember that it's there. And it will materialize again in front of you in whatever way you want it to or need it to in that moment. But it's never going anywhere. It's always here. And that is the gift that you give you in the remembering of that. Oh, wow, that was different. Anything else that you want to offer them today? They're saying that the floor is yours. If there's a question on your mind, if there's something that you've been wanting or needing today in terms of personal support, now is your opportunity to ask. They wanted to keep this message today super simple because words weren't needed today. Energy was needed, emotion was needed, feeling was needed, and typically that is all that's ever needed. We just don't realize that that's true. And so they want you to notice that if there's not a question that you have right now, That's great. That's fine. Sometimes sometimes the experience is all that's needed, and then once we have the experience, we realize, "Actually, the question that I had doesn't feel so important anymore." But if there is something, like, kind of tickling at you or nudging at you, they want to encourage you to ask it anyway and allow the energy of this experience to guide you forward from here. Hi, Ernie. Okay. Yeah, that was really beautiful. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to hop in the chat. The floor is yours. If there's anything on your mind today, you have an opportunity to ask. And if you're feeling complete, that's totally fine too. We can keep this short and sweet today. What's so funny is I close my eyes and typically, like immediately, they'll show me this image and it'll come along with a feeling and a knowing, just like a knowing of what the image and the feeling mean. And that kind of starts the ball rolling in terms of what message they want to relay today. And instead, I just saw this like woman standing in front of me, not saying anything and just smiling. And I was like, hello, is there something that you want to tell me about what the message is today? And I was getting nothing. And I was like, what is going on here? So it took a second for me to understand like what this message was. So I just thought I would share that because that was very funny. That's never happened to me before. But I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And I hope you're all enjoying your week and your day today, regardless of where you are in the world. It is 5 o'clock my time in the evening, and it's kind of like it's been such a beautiful day. So I've been had a really peaceful day today. Arnie, is there anything on your mind today? Are you just joining just to be and to experience? Hi, Stacy. I'm wondering if me not being able to visualize when I try is a blockage. I can have visions, but they seem to come when I'm not trying. Okay. I've been thinking about you since Monday and what you were asking in terms of your visions being less, I guess, spectacular or less kind of all consuming or like metaphysical, and you're feeling like you're moving through a bit of a lull. So let me reread this again. I'm wondering if me not being able to visualize when I try is a blockage. When you're saying visualize, are you meaning in meditation or like, for example, the visualization exercise that we just did? So just clarify that for me if you can. That just in general, visualizing things in your mind has been more challenging lately. What do you guys want to say to her about that? She's She's feeling blocked with being able to visualize. What do you want to say to her about that? Stacy, like I can't remember ever being able to visualize when I try. Okay. Are you saying that visualizing something in your mind is challenging for you and it's something that you've always found to be challenging and you're wondering why? Um, how do you know that you're having trouble? If you, let me ask you this. Are Yes. Then other times it's like a projector. Okay, so it goes up and down. What do you guys want to say about that? They're asking, what is the expectation? Is the expectation that it should always be easy and like a projector and that you're wondering why it's so up and down? What they're relaying, let me make sure I'm getting this right. I don't know. I ask other people, can you visualize an apple? They can. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. when you visualize an apple, sometimes you can do it and it comes through very clearly, and sometimes you try and it doesn't. Is that what you're saying? But when you ask other people, it seems like it's more consistent for them that they can always visualize the apple in their mind without difficulty. And you're wondering for you why it's difficult sometimes and not others. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. No, never. I get nothing but black, always. I just wondered if it's like I'm a receiver. So you can have visual. So, okay, hold on. You're saying Stacy, I'm a little confused. You're saying you can have visions, but like a projector sometimes, but just not when you're trying. But when you try, it's difficult. Am I getting that right? And I think I know what the answer is here. They're saying it depends on your state of being. Um, yes, because when I do get visions, they are epic, but I don't ever lead them, and my dreams are vivid. They're saying it depends on your state of being. I want to make sure that I'm interpreting this properly. Okay. Oh, hold on. It's a little complicated what they're trying to explain. They're saying trust the process as it's unfolding for you. Again, because there's wisdom in all things. When you are straining to visualize something, you are trying to push forward an idea of what something is supposed to be. And when you're just in a relaxed, very receptive state of being, it just comes naturally. And that is exactly what's happening, and that is exactly what's needed. So it's not that you're blocked, it's just that in your conscious level of anticipation or frustration, you are finding it challenging because you are trying to force something, and what is being asked of you is to take your foot off the gas and receive. And not being able to visualize something in your mind is not an issue. It is just where the way things are. And it doesn't mean anything about you and your ability, because as you've been able to bear witness to in your dreams, and when you're not really thinking about it or trying to force it, it's like a projector. It comes through very strongly. And so this is an exercise of learning how to take a step back, relax, and just let things be. Just go with the flow. Just allow your energy to flow through you. And if it's not there, it's not there. And it's not that it should be there or it's supposed to be there. It's just that it's not. And like trusting in the wisdom of that. You are so open and receptive, but I think you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to create an experience based on an understanding of what it should be or what it could be. And that is getting in your way of what it is. And what it is very unique to you. And learning how to effortlessly be is ultimately what you're being called into. And your experiences are going to shift and change as your energy does too. At times when you are more like relaxed and allowing, you might find that visions or intuitive nudges become easier to witness or to feel or acknowledge. And when you're in states of stress or pressure, it's going to be harder. And this is ultimately your lesson. is learning how to find a balance between those two. It's You're human. So of course you're going to go through stages of life or of your day or your week where you're feeling less open and inviting and more closed off. And just know that when your energy is like that, your experience of you is going to be different. And if you want to be more open and receptive and have more intricate experiences, what is going to be required of you is learning how to shift you. So rather than straining for a different experience or believing that you are blocked in some way, it is about understanding how to, like, quote unquote, manipulate your energy, which just comes down to opening your heart, getting into a really relaxed state, and receiving. And learning how to do that at the drop of a hat, regardless of how you're feeling, is a skill that takes time. I'll give you an example. Last year, I was working with a client in the midst of a very low point that I was dealing with personally. I was in a very, very dark place. And I knew that in order to show up for this client in session from a place of integrity, I needed to be in a very open hearted place because it's difficult for me to receive intuitive messages when I'm stressed, anxious, frustrated, angry, and depressed. So I took a very long time in meditation before each session, and I worked hard. It sounds weird to say, but I worked hard to let all of my shit go and open up my heart to unconditional love in the moment. And I and that is what I mean by shifting your energy. I let all of my shit go and allowed myself to feel love and compassion and forgiveness for myself so that I could conduct the session. And I just want to let you guys know that I took some time off of working with clients because of the place I was in personally. And that is why I did that. So I don't typically operate that way. It just sort of unfolded in that way for me. But that is what I mean when I talk about shifting your energy. That is what that means. It means from going from one feeling to another. And ultimately it doesn't feel like it, but it's a choice. When we're feeling angry and upset, typically we're choosing that without realizing it. And then when we realize that there is a choice, we don't want to change it. We want to feel angry and upset. We feel justified in feeling angry and upset. And it takes a lot of restraint to allow yourself to let go of that anger in the moment because you don't want to. And that's what makes it hard to let love in. It's not actually hard to let love in, it's hard to hold on to anger. It's much harder to feel anger than it is to feel love, but we tend to not want to feel love. We want to feel justified in how we feel, which is angry. So, this is a long, rambling explanation. I hope this makes sense. Let me come back to the chat. Thanks. That makes total sense. On many levels, forcing never works in any aspect of my experience. I appreciate your example. That helps. I know you know it's a choice. I'm just speaking generally. Um, Yeah, ultimately, this is an opportunity for you to witness your own energy. Like when things are kind of flowing and easy, it's like, oh, okay, where am I at in my life? Like, what have I been allowing of myself? How have I been showing up for myself? Have I been integrating more self compassion work? Have I been gentler with myself? And just kind of take note of all the things that you've been doing that are allowing for that state of being to take place. Hi, Adam. Adam, if there's anything that you want to share today, I'm here. I'm here for guidance. Stacy, I forgot sometimes that it's a choice, but on a deep level, I know it. I know. And I know you know that. I know. It's it's a choice. Everything is a choice. And oftentimes it can feel extremely confronting to recognize that that's true because when we're presented with the idea that everything we have and everything that we feel and do is a choice, but we're not happy inside of those choices, it requires taking a lot of personal responsibility. And that is really, there's a lot of judgment that comes with that. So it's a process of unraveling that really slowly and gradually and just being really gentle on yourself as you do that. But there's nothing wrong, there's no block at all. It's just a learning opportunity. You're just kind of figuring all this out and learning as you go. That's all. Adam. This is Adam from last. Adam, that's adorable. I know who you are. Remember, you told me that Spirit told you to follow up a question from last live for today. Yes, I remember. There's only 3 of you that ever show up, so I remember. It's too funny. The question was why those 2 people on the treadmill looked at me and looked away. If there was any reason for why they acted that way, if they heard anything bad about me, like a rumor or something, is that why they looked at me? Yes, I remember. I remember that. Do you have something that you'd like to work through today in terms of that, or have you had some time to reflect on that? Do you feel like that message was true for you, or do you feel like there's something in there that you're feeling is different? The floor is yours. The floor is yours, and I'm here to support you. And I'm so curious about this gym that you're having all these experiences at this gym. Is it a public gym? Is it like a gym where you guys do classes, sort of like more of a CrossFit style gym, or is it just like a regular public gym that anyone can sign up for and use, and you all come and you go at whatever time works best for you? I was so curious about the dynamics of this gym because it seems like you've had some experiences there that it's a regular public gym. Okay. Yeah. Ask away. I'm here if you have any questions about that. You're also asking a former personal trainer. In my last life, I was a personal trainer. I don't know if you guys even know this about me. Before I got into this work, that's what I did for a living. I was a personal trainer and nutrition coach. That's what I went to school for. I worked as a trainer for 15 years. So I have a lot of experience with gyms, gym life, gym culture, body image, all the things. And building confidence inside of that area in my life there's been a lot of work that I've put in there and stuff that's been coming back up recently that I've had to work through again. So I'm ready to hold space for you with that if there's anything specific that you want to talk through about that. But it's interesting, like from someone that worked in the industry for so long, like I do feel pretty confident in what I'm doing at the gym, and I still have so much insecurity that I notice pop up depending on the situation. And I see that all over too. Like sometimes the people that work the hardest, it never the way they see themselves never changes, and it's hard to believe on the outside when you look at someone and they're like, and you think, oh my God, they have it all together and they look so good and they must feel so good. It's not always the case. Okay, Adam. So you go to the gym as well. Anything besides weight training is a waste of time. I understand what you're saying. I would argue If you're having fun, can you call it a waste of time? I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, I don't run unless something's chasing me. I'm just not a runner, and I would prefer not to ever run. But if someone enjoys running, who am I to stop them? Who am I to say that you're wasting your time if they're enjoying themselves? So that's how I like to look at it. Also, oh, Stacy, I walked into a gym once, freaked out at how fit everyone looked, and bailed. So well done, gym people. I so get that. I will never forget when I was starting my career. I had experience teaching fitness classes, but this was before I was personal training. And I got a job at this gym as a personal trainer, and I had no experience as a personal trainer, none. And I remember walking through the gym, and there were machines that I understood how to use perfectly, but there were some that I didn't. And I felt like such an imposter that I was working there and I was hired specifically to do a job where I was showing people how to use the equipment and how to and to be like the expert because it was my job. And yet I felt so insecure and self-conscious. And I actually just started going to this new gym a few months ago. It's a bodybuilding and powerlifting gym. And powerlifting is what I did for 10 years. In the heart of Detroit, I went to this really hardcore powerlifting facility. So I was in a gym with people 5 times my size, squatting, crazy weight ass to grass. Anyway, I felt so intimidated walking to this gym with 20 years experience, 15 years as a personal trainer, 4 years of education, plus countless other years of internships and courses and mentorships. And I still felt insecure. So it's not just you. Those of us who have had so much experience still feel those things. And it's sort of one of those things that you just kind of have to shake off. But the best advice I can give to anybody is to hire someone to show you how to use the equipment, even if it's just a couple sessions with the trainer, because the education that you will get in that will calm the nerves down. So at least you can walk into the gym and you're looking at things that are familiar to you rather than unfamiliar. That is what I would do if I was starting again. It's an investment, right? Personal training is expensive, or there's courses like online. There's so many YouTube videos now, like how to use the equipment, and also they have programs as well, so that you can have. And I've walked through the gym. I've seen that when people were on their app on the phone watching how to use the machine that they were about to use. We all do it. I did used to be a personal trainer. Adam, did you have a question specifically? I'm happy to talk about myself, but I don't know if this is interesting to you. If there's something about my life that you want to know, just ask. I don't know if I'm that interesting, but I'm happy to tell you about my life. I've been on a bit of a roller coaster. Maybe I'll just share this now. I've been on a bit of a roller coaster ride. Love you share these vulnerable moments with us. Okay, so I'll share this with you. When I was 19, 20 years old, I had an eating disorder. I was never diagnosed with one, but I was 87 pounds. So I had a disordered eating pattern there. I was limiting food to a large extent. Some of it was that I was sick. Like I had some other things going on, which created some body dysmorphia on top of the body dysmorphia that I had. But I was limiting food and I was starving myself and I was working out a lot. And I was in a really, really bad place. I could show you photos of myself. You wouldn't even recognize me. I was real thin. And then I discovered CrossFit, and I did CrossFit for like 8 months or almost a year. And the guys that ran the CrossFit gym were powerlifters. And they told me, if you want to get better at CrossFit, you have to get stronger because you're a tiny person. You need to be stronger. So they put me on a powerlifting program and I fell in love with it because I felt so disempowered in my life at that time. And being able to lift weights and watch myself progressively get stronger, like week after week, felt so empowering. I'd never felt that before. And very slowly, my eating disorder started to reverse itself because the only way I was going to get stronger, I was working so hard in the gym, and the only way I was going to reap the reward of that was if I ate something. So I started eating and I started gaining weight and I started getting stronger. And so the whole spiral sort of reversed itself very, very slowly. But I will always credit powerlifting to saving my life, quite frankly. And then I went back to school to study exercise science, and then everything unfolded from there. But my body has changed a lot over the course of my life. I went from very, 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 very thin to like a pretty muscular girl to now I'm sort of in the middle. So the physical body does tend to mirror a lot of what's going on internally. And sometimes you can look at someone and think, wow, they look amazing on the outside, but there's a lot of sacrifice, self-loathing that has gone into creating that. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I'm saying coming from me, who has been in the industry for a very long time, who has worked very hard on my mental health, I still feel that a lot of those critical thoughts at play even to this day. And it's a tightrope walk of trying to find a balance there because the more I get sucked into, right now I'm just doing bodybuilding. The more I get sucked into that, the more I notice the body dysmorphia creeping back in. It's a tricky thing. I don't have kids. Well, I have 2 dogs. Those are my kids. They have 4 legs and my kids have 4 legs and a tail. But I don't think that human children are part of my path in this lifetime. So I have 2 nephews that I think of as my own or love as my own. And for me, that's feels fulfilling. But would you have like to have kids? I think in this lifetime, I'm feeling very fulfilled inside of who I am and where I am, and I don't foresee children on the bingo card for me. It just I something just feels um really satisfying in the way it is, and I just don't feel called to move in that direction for whatever reason. It's always felt that way. I've always sort of had that knowing that something about it this time around just doesn't feel like it's clicking for me. Yeah. This is like my AMA today. Ask me anything. Stacy, I just got my first puppy. She's very cute and very cheeky. Congratulations, Stacy. That's so exciting. Puppies are so much fun. There's so much work. The potty training stage truly is the hardest part, I think, with having a puppy. And once that's done, they're just so cute. I would love to know. I'm feeling a girl, but I don't know. Where did you get her, him? What breed? I want to know all the things. Adam. Oh, I understand. Just saying, probably in the future, you could change your mind. Absolutely. I would love to know how old you think I am. Because I don't know how much time I have left in the future to make that decision. But that is true. Maybe with the advancement of technology, I'm a little older than my mid-30s. I just have a baby face maybe. Um, but yeah, people have said that to me a lot. "Oh, well, you can change your mind. You can change your mind." I'm not gonna change my mind. I'm pretty definitive inside of the decision that I continue to make every single day, and the thought of having a child really, really scares me, and that's probably not a great sign. So, I'm feeling really satisfied inside of just what the future holds for me without them. Stacy, I'm training her to be a companion animal to work with autistic kids. I would have guessed 25 to 28. Yeah, first of all, that's so beautiful. I love that. She's got probably has a very gentle, compassionate energy to her, and getting her kind of socialized with as many people as possible is probably, I guess, what you're striving for. My dogs would not do well in that position. I have 2 rescues, and they're not one of them is just not a people person. So she would not that's not the job for her. Let's just put it that way. But that's so fun, so exciting. Um, yeah, most people guess that I'm in my late 20s. I'm in my late 30s, nearing 40. I'm turning 39 next week, actually. I don't wanna talk about it. I don't wanna talk about it. I don't wanna talk about it. Next question. I don't know where the last 10 years went. I really don't. And it's a bit of an existential crisis I'm having thinking about it. So I don't really want to talk about it. Stacy, I'm on it. I called in a spirit animal for this purpose, and she is perfect for me. We are doing all the classes. That's so fun. What breed is she? I keep saying she. Am I Yeah, she. Okay. I was like, I feel like this is a female dog, but I don't know for sure. I would love to know her breed and where this idea came from. I've had I had a family dog growing up, and he was my first real pet that I'd ever had, and there's something about animals. I'm just so drawn to animals, and so I knew as soon as he died that I'll always have a dog or dogs. I love cats. I'm just so allergic to them, so I could never own a cat, unfortunately, because if I could, I would have 10 of them. So it's going to be dogs for me. Border collie. Oh, that's a smart dog. Border collies are so intelligent. You better put her to work. She's gonna be running the show. That's too funny. I had my first dog was a Havanese, which is in the Bichon family. And then when I moved in with my boyfriend, now my husband, he had a Bichon. And then we adopted a Cairn Terrier from the shelter. And then the 2 that we have now, one is a Chihuahua Hound and one is a Chihuahua Terrier, but they're all rescues. Stacy, my youngest son is autistic and terrified of all dogs, and we met a therapy dog who was a border collie. My cousin had a therapy dog that was a border collie, and that dog could do incredible things. She has an autistic son, and he bonded with this dog like nothing else. And this dog was his like best friend. And so it's a dogs are beautiful animals, how they're able to just know what you want, know what you need, and give it to you in the most unconditionally loving way. They have so much to teach us. And actually, I took my very first okay, so when I discovered that psychic work was real and that you could like that everybody is psychic, I was like, wait, I can I can talk to animals? Like that's a thing that blew my mind because as a little girl, I would watch all the Disney movies and they would always talk to the animals. And that was like my dream was to be able to talk to animals. And so when I found out I could become an animal communicator, I reached out to somebody to work with me to help me, and it's the same as communicating with spirit or with doing mediumship, but developing that ability has been the funnest part of all of it. I love talking to animals. They're so grounded and My one dog, my younger dog, she is very chatty and she's always putting me in my place. It's very funny. Stacy, my daughter is a long distance runner, so she gets heaps of exercise. We are going to do agility training. Within 6 months, my son isn't scared of dogs anymore, and my son is learning to hold his space. That's incredible. That is a lucky dog that your daughter is going running with her. Wow. That's really cool. I love that for you guys. What sounds like a beautiful addition to the family. My house feels too quiet without barking, without a dog. So I will always have, and once you go from one to two, it's hard to go back to one for me anyway. Like when we had two and my older dog died and we just had the one, it was too quiet. There was something like a presence that was missing. So we filled it. Now we're back to two. And I would do three. The only thing holding me back from three is walking them becomes complicated. Two is already complicated to walk. They're just all over the place. So adding a third one in there is it's gonna be a lot. Stacy, I've talked to a possum, a horse, and a dolphin, cats, of course, and now a dog, always through heart chakra. Yeah, Adam, actually, I lied. You look around 28 to 32. I'll take it. I'll take it. I feel 17. So there's that. But 17 was a long time ago for me. What did the possum have to say? I'm so curious. When I tune into an animal's energy, that was the biggest, I guess, aha moment for me is I started understanding how to tune into an animal's energy and just feel their energy. And there is just this calmness in the mind and this grounded feeling in their body. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I could turn my mind off like that and feel that energy in my body. And so it's been like an exploration of understanding my own energy from that experience. So that's kind of what they've been mirroring back to me is how to just be. Because that's what animals do. They don't like they're not like in their head all the time. They just are, and they're just existing inside of the experience that they're having without questioning it or thinking ahead or replaying the past. They're just in the present, experiencing it for what it is. And that is what my dogs remind me every single day to do, is to just be so present with them, take in the present moment and allow them to ground me in it. Actually, a few weeks ago, I finished one of these lives and I went out to say hi to my dogs. And my younger dog said, I want to help you with your lives. And I was like, okay, how would you like to help me? And she's like, I'm going to ground you because you need to be very grounded for what you do. And I was like, oh, how are you going to ground me? And she's like, I'm always grounding you. That's my job. And I was like, touche, that's true. Just being around you is how you ground me. There's nothing more to it than that. She likes to simplify things and remind me that I overcomplicate everything. Stacy, it was Mother's Day and I was hugging a tree and she ran up my leg and sat next to my head. My heart became her heartbeat, and I told her I was safe and we just merged, and her heart slowed right down. What? Is this a wild animal or was this somebody's pet or was this in a sanctuary of some kind? That's crazy. Wow, what a beautiful experience. It feels like she might have been afraid of something, maybe running from something, and she felt like a peaceful, safe presence. Is that the sense that you got? That's sort of what I'm picking up on, that she was running from something, or something spooked her, chased her or something. Wow. What an incredible story. That's like my dream, is to go into a pack of wild animals, but they like sense that I'm a safe presence. And so they just befriend me. Wild animal, she didn't see me. That's crazy, Stacy. Adam, but do you still work out? I do. I'm not a happy camper if I can't expend that energy. Just ask my husband. I'm not as easy to live with if I don't have that outlet. And it's sort of like the best part of my day, other than this, because I just put my headphones on, I put on my playlist that I like, and I just kind of get out of my head and into my body. So it's the best feeling. Would you mind telling me what your workout is? Sure. Um, Explaining to me what your workout program is. Yeah, right now I'm just writing it myself. Um, I've sort of entered a phase of my fitness journey where I'm not interested in working that hard. I drove my body into the ground for so long that I'm just over that. I'm not willing to do that anymore. So I'm sort of just in a maintenance phase, but it's an upper lower split. I don't know how interesting this is to, to you, but I do I do four workouts a week, two upper body workouts, two lower body workouts, and it's a push pull. So what that means is I combine push movements and pull movements. So I'm not splitting like quads and hamstrings or back and chest. I'm putting it all together. So a leg day will be a combination of a squat pattern, a lunge pattern, a hip extension pattern, and a leg flexion pattern. I think about it in terms of planes of motion. And then an upper body workout will be like some sort of a pull, either horizontal pull or vertical pull, some sort of a press, either horizontal press or vertical press. And then I'll add in some accessory work such as shoulders and arms. So I sort of combine all of the upper body movements in one and all of the lower body movements in another. I hope that answers your question. But I've never done like a full bodybuilding type of a split where I'm just doing shoulders one day and arms one day and just like a hamstring day, because I come from a strength training background. I've just never trained that way. So it doesn't feel, I don't know. I've just never done it. Stacy, it was the coolest experience. I can't explain it. We just merged and she just became calm and curious. That sounds like the coolest experience, that you bonded with a wild animal, especially a wild animal that is typically not friendly. That's so cool and so crazy. And I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous of that experience, because you're like a real life Disney princess. That's like my dream. Adam. Wow, that is the same exact workout program as me, but the lower day is just really squats and deadlifts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've come to find that there's no secret sauce. Like, you take the same base, like 20 compound movements, and you just do them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you die. that's and that's working out. And it's sometimes people will complain that they're bored of doing the same things all the time, but the same things all the time work. It just works. And so you can switch things up in terms of tempo and intensity and sets, and like the frequency and the volume and the order of the exercises, and throw in a really fun like thing at the end, like a finisher. But ultimately, working out is just being really, really super boring and consistent, and learning to love it. Adam, just make sure and do static holds for squats, deadlifts if you can. It is really helpful. Okay. I'm not deadlifting anymore. I do still squat, not like I used to, but I'm not benching and I'm not deadlifting anymore. I just am too old. I hate saying this, but I'm just too old. I just it's just not worth the pain and aggravation for me anymore to be lifting like that. I'm entering my golden years now, Adam, so I'm just taking things really easy. Stacy, great. And magical things happen when you hug trees. That's true. And trees are very talkative too when you give them the opportunity to, which is something that has been fascinating for me is understanding that trees are just as consciously aware as we are and as our pets are. We just are not taught to see life that way. But when you but when you're ready to and your mind is open to the idea that that's true, it just it opens up a whole new world of perspective in the way that you view this planet. That we are sharing this planet with all of these different layers of consciousness, and the symbiotic relationship that we all have with one another is like a really magical thing when you think about it that way, and that we take advantage of because we don't even know that we're sharing a world with these beings that exist. A year and a half ago now, I was living in Michigan for 10 years, and my husband and I did a road trip across the United States from the Midwest, so the eastern side of the United States, all the way out to the western side, which is where we are now. And we stopped at the Redwoods, which is a big forest in Northern California that have these huge redwood trees. And I stopped for a little bit to talk to them, and the energy was unbelievable. And they were just saying that the trees exist in more than one plane of consciousness at a time. So they are, in and of themselves, multidimensional. And unpack that. That's crazy to me. So they're not just having this one singular experience, but they're having many all at once. And they probably have so much wisdom that they could share if we were open to receiving that. I encourage you guys to just go up to a tree and put your hand on it and close your eyes and take a deep breath and feel. You might be surprised what you feel. Okay. Yes, they are. Yeah. So I'm going to begin to close this down. I love this conversation. This was so fun for me to keep this light and to just chat, just shoot the shit. If there's anything else that you want to say, any final questions that you have for me, now's your opportunity to ask. Any strength training split discussions, any periodization, any macronutrient conversation. um, anything. Yeah. I actually in Michigan had a tree friend. I used to walk my dogs by this tree and I used to stop and chat. I call him him. I don't know that he has a gender, but I used to stop and chat with him all the time. And it was pretty unbelievable. Like and they always share really incredible wisdom, but it's so simple. It's not complicated. It's so simple, but so true and so profound at the same time. So I encourage all of you to befriend a tree. Adam, so you have an exercise science degree. What else are you qualified with, if you don't mind me telling? Qualified? Um, qualified. I was a nutrition coach along with personal training, so I have a background in nutrition as well. Um, I don't know, like I don't really have other certifications or qualifications other than just experience. Like I took courses. Um, I'll tell you like a really quick backstory and so that you can get like a full idea of my experience. I worked as a personal trainer for 15 years, and at this is a story for another day, but I opened up my own business. I opened up my own gym. It was in my basement of my house, but I ordered like top of the line equipment from a company called Atlantis. And it was like commercial grade, top of the line equipment. And we had a pretty big basement. So I filled my basement with this incredible equipment. And I opened up this gym that I could train clients in a private like facility in my house. And I did that in September of 2019. So here I am, first time business owner, doing the thing, terrified out of my mind, filled with so much uh, insecurity and unworthiness. And 6 months later, there's a worldwide pandemic. And I had to close down for about 5 months. And during that time, came to the I allowed myself to finally acknowledge the fact that I was super unhappy and did not enjoy my work. And so I really ultimately wanted to be able to move, but having this physical brick and mortar facility was keeping me anchored in Michigan, where I was very unhappy. So the first step was being able to work online. So I started taking nutrition classes so that I could become a nutrition coach and work with clients in an online capacity. And so I started offering my clients nutrition training, nutrition coaching, but I began to find that they didn't need help with understanding what to do because it was very easy to understand what to do. Eat whole foods, prioritize protein, cut back on sugary drinks, and eating out. Like losing weight it's simple, but not easy. And they struggled because they were using food to fulfill an emotional need. And so I started delving more into that and taking more courses that had to do with emotional eating and the psychology of body image and weight loss and weight gain. And that sort of led me into more life coaching work. And then spirituality came into my sphere, and that sort of gradually transitioned into what I'm doing now. So it's been a gradual process of slowly unfolding in terms of how I've gotten myself here. But in terms of like experience, personal training, nutrition coaching, and life coaching are really the cornerstones of my background. Adam, I'm just letting you know if you want to continue in the fitness industry, there are lots of certification programs that you probably never heard about that you can find online. Totally. I'm I am done with the fitness industry though. I'm just not passionate about it anymore. And if I'm being fully honest with myself, I never was. I found it interesting, but I was trying to fit inside of a box that I could visually see existed when that box was never meant for me. I was meant to do what I'm doing now. So I'm so happy with what I'm doing now that I would never go back to fitness. I just don't find it interesting anymore. I've sort of outgrown it and gotten bored of it in what could be more interesting than talking to trees. just just being honest. Stacy, thanks guys. That was fun. Love that homework. I will definitely go make a new tree friend. I actually have more tree friends than people friends. I'd love to meet a redwood. I think you'll meet a redwood one day. Um, you don't necessarily have to go to a redwood to meet a redwood, though. Just close your eyes, tune into the energy of the redwood, and I'm sure that when you're in a relaxed and receptive state, they will appear in front of you. You'll feel their energy and you'll be able to talk to them effortlessly. You don't have to be in front of one to talk to one or feel them. So maybe that's something that you could try. But yeah, make a tree friend. And there's so many all around. So there's no shortage of trees to befriend. Thanks, guys. This was so fun. I really enjoyed this conversation. Took many twists and turns, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we will meet up next week and we can talk more about macros and protein and all the things and trees and everything and possums next week. I do have to go now, unfortunately. I like to keep these to about an hour. But I'll be back, Adam. I'll be back next week and we can talk all things fitness next week. Yes, we can talk about why these people looked at me and looked away. Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime. You just let me know. You can direct the conversation wherever you're feeling comfortable to go. So today was just kind of like a chit chat day. But if you want to delve a little deeper next time, I'd be more than happy to do that with you. Okay. I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for joining me again and have a great rest of your day. Hug a tree and go do something sweaty and fun. Bye.